And today, we're diving into the central nervous system, or CNS for short. Think of it as the control center of your body. It's made up of the brain and spinal cord, and it's responsible for everything from thinking and feeling to moving and breathing. Here's a labeled diagram showing the brain's main parts, like the frontal and parietal lobes. Now let's see a 3D model of the brain rotating to get a better view. The spinal cord connects the brain to the body and protects nerves. These are some key functions of the CNS: thinking, feeling, movement, and breathing. For example, when you touch something hot, the CNS quickly processes the signal and tells your hand to move away. Key takeaways: the CNS is your body's control center with the brain and spinal cord. It handles all major functions like thinking and movement. Let's start with the forebrain, the largest part of your brain. It's divided into two main sections, the telencephalon and the diencephalon. The telencephalon includes the cerebrum, which is responsible for higher-level thinking, like problem-solving and decision-making. For example, when you're planning a trip, your cerebrum helps you weigh options and make choices. The diencephalon houses the thalamus, which acts as a sensory relay station, directing signals from your senses to the right parts of your brain. For instance, if you touch something hot, the thalamus quickly relays that pain signal. It also contains the hypothalamus, which regulates important body functions like body temperature and hunger. When you're hungry, the hypothalamus signals you to eat, and it helps maintain your body temperature in different environments. Together, these structures make the forebrain, where thinking happens, and your body stays in balance. The cerebrum is the largest part of your brain, and it's divided into four main lobes, each with special jobs. Let's explore them together. The frontal lobe is like the brain's command center. It controls movement and executive functions, such as planning your future actions. This is the largest lobe and helps with decision-making and personality. The parietal lobe integrates sensory information from your body, helping you understand touch, temperature, and spatial awareness. It's like your brain's perception hub. The temporal lobe handles auditory processing and is crucial for memory formation. It helps you remember stories and tunes, making it essential for learning and recognizing faces. The occipital lobe is responsible for vision. It processes what you see, from colors to shapes, acting like your brain's visual center. To remember these lobes easily, think of this mnemonic: frontal equals future planning, parietal equals perception, temporal equals tunes and tales for memory, and occipital equals optics for vision. Each lobe works together to make you who you are. Don't forget about the subcortical structures. These are the unsung heroes working behind the scenes in your brain. The thalamus acts as a relay station for sensory information, directing signals from your body to the appropriate parts of your brain. For example, a 2024 study found that thalamus-targeted implants reduced Parkinson's tremors by 70%, showing how this structure helps manage movement signals. The hypothalamus regulates hormones and emotions, controlling things like body temperature, hunger, and stress responses. The basal nuclei, including structures like the striatum, modulate motor control and help form habits by fine-tuning movements and learning patterns. These subcortical structures work behind the scenes to keep everything running smoothly, processing information and coordinating responses that you might not even notice. Moving down from the forebrain, we reach the midbrain, a small but crucial area that acts as a relay station for sensory and motor information. It integrates incoming sensory data with outgoing motor commands, helping coordinate reflexes like the startle response or eye movements. Below the midbrain lies the hindbrain, consisting of three main parts: the pons, medulla, and cerebellum. The pons and medulla work together to control essential life functions. The pons helps regulate breathing patterns and sleep, while the medulla manages heart rate, blood pressure, and reflexes like coughing or swallowing. For example, when you exercise, the medulla increases your heart rate to pump more blood to your muscles, while the pons ensures your breathing matches the increased demand. These structures are so vital that damage to them can be life-threatening. Here's a side view of the brain showing these structures in anatomical detail. Notice how the midbrain sits between the larger forebrain and the hindbrain components. The cerebellum, attached to the back of the hindbrain, is famous for coordinating balance and fine motor skills. It receives information from sensory receptors in muscles and joints, then sends signals to adjust movements for smooth, precise actions. As this diagram shows, the cerebellum handles motor learning, sense of body position, balance, and fine movement coordination. Emerging research suggests it also contributes to language processing, helping with speech timing and rhythm. These pathways connect the brain regions to the spinal cord, creating feedback loops for motor control and sensory integration. For instance, the corticospinal tract carries motor commands from the brain to muscles, while sensory tracts bring information back. Key takeaway: the midbrain and hindbrain handle essential bodily functions like heart rate and breathing, while coordinating complex movements and balance. They're the foundation that keeps our bodies running smoothly and allows us to interact with the world. Let's zoom in on the cerebellum. We know it's essential for balance and coordinating movements, like riding a bike. But did you know that recent studies have found it's also involved in cognitive functions and even language? Single-cell RNA sequencing has identified over 100 cerebellar cell types. It's a busy little brain region. This diversity of cells helps the cerebellum handle everything from keeping you steady on your feet to processing complex thoughts and words. Key takeaways: the cerebellum is more than just about balance. It's a key player in motor skills, cognition, and even language processing. Finally, let's talk about the 12 cranial nerves. These nerves originate from the brainstem and facilitate sensory and motor pathways. The brainstem is where these nerves begin, sending pathways throughout your body. There are 12 pairs, each with specific functions. For example, the olfactory nerve is for smell, and the vagus nerve controls autonomic functions like digestion. Here's a detailed diagram of the cranial nerves and their pathways. A 2025 app-based tool even aids in remote stroke detection by assessing cranial nerve psi. They're essential for connecting your brain to the rest of your body. Key takeaway: cranial nerves connect your brain to your senses and body functions. That wraps up our tour of the CNS.